good day, good afternoon. Hope you're all doing well. We got rain. For those of you keeping track at home, things are looking a little bit better over here. Ben, Nate, Nick, Heidi, Danny, welcome people. Hope you all had a good weekend. Maybe I'll just leave this music low in the background for just a minute. Get set up here. So don't have that community sound pack for you this morning. It'll be up after the stream today. I got a little bit sidetracked with wrapping up some finer details on some new partnerships and stuff, which you guys are going to love. In fact, I do believe the first review in our brand new refresh of the product review segment here will be with Cable Guys. Super wonderful stuff that they make. Lots of other fun names to share with you guys. I don't want to throw them out all at once. We're also going to start our next community challenge today. For everybody tuning in today, you'll get a little bit of a head start on those that are keeping up through the VODs and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be taking a look at some places where you can get sounds if you don't have the ability to capture sounds in the moment. We are in the midst of a pandemic, obviously, and people have varying levels of access to things these days. If you're not familiar with it already, head over and set up a free account at freesound.org. It's worth it. We'll talk through it here in a minute. I've used it, well, for about 15 years now. As you can see, they're celebrating 15 years. There's always some kind of anniversary celebration notice on the main page when you first arrive. So if you have not already set up an account there for yourself, go ahead and do so. If you want to play along and get more awesome sounds and stuff, that is. I am just going to put up a quick announcement that we are live for some folks here, and then we'll get going. What is everybody working on today? I'd love to hear what your where your inspiration's coming from and what you're pouring it into today. Oh, I'm almost done wrapping up so many different things for the launch of this channel. I know that we've been going for the past couple of weeks, but it does take some time to build up something really well. And I guess long story short, one of the best things is that you guys won't have to be looking at my tired, puffy eyes much longer, because I'll probably be getting more sleep. All right, last little bit here. All right. Soon I'll be in a better rhythm with getting these things announced, and we'll get a decent amount of new folks every day in here too to start playing around with. That will, of course, become a lot more relevant as we get more of these challenges going. We're also going to be announcing some really cool cross-channel campaigns with other channels on Twitch and such. So yeah, that's how that goes. All right, let's do this. See what you guys are talking about now that I'm out of my morning routine stuff. Some good energy floating around Twitch this morning, I've noticed. Well, Nate, don't you worry, man. Don't sweat it. If you're still getting your PC set up, you get it set up. We'll see how much real-time stuff there actually is today. Hopefully, you're around for a bit of it, because I think this is exactly the kind of stuff, personally, that you truly excel in. You just don't quite know it yet. Free noise. You thought it was Sunday. Oh my goodness. Pandemic life. Rubber band snipper clipper style music last week. This week is chiptune music and a pixel art game. Final Fantasy 14 influenced action music. Busy this week. Sounds like it. And hey, dude, if you have an update to the snipper clips, send it if that isn't what I heard last week, because I was really enjoying that. For those of you who do not tune in to Nate's channel, check it out. He does some really cool stuff. You love my tired wear and tear look. I'm sure I probably look like a beat down junkie at times. I'm fighting through it, you guys. You have those puffs as well. I know you do, man. I know you do. You guys have your days all mixed up right now. Hey, that's not supposed to be showing. OhmLab. Let's fix that really quick. There's no more 65% off coupon. Ohmi, where are you? There you are. Forget I actually have to push buttons and stuff to make all these things work. All right, timer. Birthday discount. And it's gone. Okay. Back to it. I'm going to get rid of this music. And start talking through what we're going to be doing this week. Because I think it's going to be a fairly regular part of what we do. And by no means are you required to be, using freesound.org. They're, not an official sponsor of the channel or anything. Freesound.org, serving the music making community and audio enthusiast audiences around the world for over 15 years. No, they're just really good people, and I hope that more people support them because they do good things. But you can absolutely play along by using your iPhone or other smart device that has a microphone that you can carry around in your pocket like a future device. Capture cool things. You can also use fancy stuff. If you got a Zoom recorder or something, go out there and do it. Ambisonic stuff, I'll accept it. Basically, the gist is that you guys are going to gather sounds and send them in. And we will transform those sounds. And when I say we, I mean I will start transforming some sounds. But the ones that are selected to be used in packs, or in the creation of packs, will all come back to you as well. And we will have little creator contests. and we will kind of iterate and create different versions of sounds together. And in that process, I mean, we've done this type of thing before, but what the live thing brings us, the live video thing brings us, is an opportunity to talk through in greater detail the decision making and the thoughts and the impetus for our different hacks and techniques and stuff that we have to develop along the way to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. So that's where this is going to start, and I wanted to get you through one of these before we start doing our first cross-channel campaign. There's some really cool names in the mix right now, and I think that you guys are going to have a lot of fun playing with this. Hey. Nate, is this something that I can show in stream? Well, I'm assuming that it is because you've just put a link in the stream, so I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Dude, this music is so perfect. Nate is one of these folks in the channel that I'm going to want to highlight a few times as he's progressing, because he has this natural ability to capture the essence of a character of a game and put stuff around it. It's quite great. And I feel like he's just getting started, so we're all kind of lucky to watch it. Great stuff, Nate. Dude, awesome. It seems like he's good to work with, and he's got a cool channel, cool community. Okay, so the initiation to the sample challenge, some of you have already played along in prior live streams before we showed up here on Twitch, and some of you have done this through older methods where going back like a decade, things would be mostly in written format. I would post the challenge, and then people had a week or a month or whatever to get stuff back, and we released sound packs, and it was great. Fun videos, lots of fun and prizes. Just, it's fun. And as these things mature on the channel, we will absolutely include some product giveaways, and not just sound packs, but really awesome game changer plugins and stuff, because I love you guys, and I want to make sure that you have lots of things to keep you inspired and moving forward yourselves. And there will always be restrictions. There will always be restrictions, because I'm a big fan of restrictions, and I think that they push us forward in some rather unique ways, and I think they help us unlock potential in everything. So as we get going with this first one, I don't want to put a bunch of restrictions on. I want to see what kind of sounds are inspiring you. And instead of putting a bunch of restrictions in play for this first one, just because we're just stretching out here, I'm thinking that we can just toss out a few kind of loose categories, if you will. Okay. I think that maybe even as loose as musical, video game, or interface would be good. Um, or maybe we could even toss in cinematic in there. Um, I guess cinematic is more of a overall quality thing, but still, um, what I'd like to see is just what kind of stuff you guys are naturally drawn to. And you can absolutely post links up to the things that you find on Free Sound, or mail in or send in samples that you'd like us to play with live in stream, or if you just want to share something that you've created while we're working on this stuff today, you can do that as well. And as this thing progresses, we won't just be introducing larger community challenges or cross-channel stuff or prizes, but we'll also be just kind of creating opportunities for us to get to know the different folks in this fine community that we are building here, even face to face. So we have the ability to do that. So without further ado, let's just take a look through things. I should preface this by saying that a few of the requests that came in last week were oh, that's interesting. I'm just now noticing. It's probably how tired I have been lately. I'm just now noticing that when I booted up my my native access, it moved over kontakt 1, kontakt 4, and kontakt 5, but not kontakt 6. That's funny. I wonder why kontakt 1 is in there and not 2 and 3. This is kind of funny. Anyway, some of the questions or requests that came through were about sample manipulation and Foley specifically, or just sounds captured out in the wild, right? Not necessarily a field recording, but a recording of something specific, recorded with the intention of being manipulated later in some way, or used in its somewhat raw form, but to bring things to life on screen is really what it comes down to. In music, though, we know very well that we can use these things to add just a ton of character and interest very, very quickly to just about any kind of music. So the questions around these requests had to do with how do you create variations of a single sound, and not spinning out, crazy different sound effects from something, but how do you make something like a singular footstep sound like a lot of footsteps, or how do you make a single bird chirp sound like a bunch of different bird chirps, right? Because this is how you start to kind of build workflows as you answer questions like this, right? Hey, I captured a great sound, a great sample of this bird, but I want it to sound like I'm in an area with a bunch of these birds. How do I do that? I only have one recording. And questions like that. So I think that as you start to answer those questions and you figure it out, you start to build workflows for yourself, and you start to build confidence, and in time that builds you up to a ninja. I mean, it really does. I know it sounds oversimplified, but it really does. Nate, I'm a drummer too, as you know, so I fully grok what you're saying. Absolutely. You can send that through. You can send that through, Heidi, and we'll take a look at it. So I'll start with just a super simple hack. Lots of people out there might be familiar with the concept of a round robin. Round robin is something that introduces variation. It's a term, I believe, that started in sports way back in the day, and you still see round robin tournaments in like college basketball and stuff like that. But the concept is, it was kind of like an early predecessor to modern playoff systems, if you will. And the whole purpose of this is to find out which team is the best, right? But in order to do that, you need to make some kind of a fair build up to giving someone that title, right? And if there's a whole bunch of different teams playing in a whole bunch of different places, you have to figure out how to do that. So a round robin is basically a way for all the different teams to play each other. In the audio world, it's spitting out variations of a sound, even though you're pressing a single key. That's the super simplified version of what this is. I know that the overarching definition of this is greater, but that's the end result. Is when you press a key many times, slight variations of that sound come out. It's still the same sound, but there's slight variations to it. Okay. Ben, what up? So we're going to take a look at that as one of the first hacks. And nice, Nate. Yeah, good flashback for you. And maybe what we'll do is we'll just grab something off the hard drive first, and then maybe we'll grab something off of freesound.org so you guys can see how that works. Oh, and Damien is here. Welcome, Damien. Walking in the door with 16 friends. I appreciate you. How's everybody doing? How did the mixing stream wrap up? Good to have you all here. We're just about to step into some Foley manipulation. We were just talking through the beginning of the next community sample challenge, which starts today. We'll talk through the details as we go. But I'm encouraging people to run over, and somehow Damien is raiding a second time. So welcome again. I'm encouraging everyone to run over and set up an account on something like freesound.org if they do not already have, samples that they've captured out in the wild that they want to be playing with or anything like that. Subbids, thanks for subbing, or following rather. And I also figured since the community sound pack is not up before the stream today, it's going up after. Those who sub today during today's stream will also get that pack. CCS, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right, so let's just grab something kind of random out of here. Maybe we'll do something simple like a footstep or something to get us started. These are very quick little workflows once you get the whole thing down. Not even going to listen to this. I'm assuming that it's just a footstep. I wouldn't have called it something like that if it wasn't. All right. So our goal here is to make a round robin effect, and I want to do it in as short fashion as possible, right? I want to make this happen quickly. What is going on there? Why can't I adjust the volume? Oh. Aha. Well, let me turn that off and on. Anybody here have kids? I just fired up my keyboard and discovered that my toddler has figured out how to make a brand new template inside of my keyboard, apparently. He created some kind of MIDI learn script for the volume slider. I have no idea how he did that. Okay, so here's our footstep. Guy, welcome. Good to have you. No worries if you're lurking hard, man. You're still here. Subvids, yeah, we're gonna work inside of Kontakt a bit today. You guys can follow along using whatever sampler you want. I'm just using this because it's universal. It's DAW agnostic, if you will. So anybody can use it. I'm just going to click the configuration wrench in the upper left-hand corner here. I'm going to go into my wave editor and just kind of clean up the beginning of the sample start point. Okay, that's good. So the idea here is just to grab a few simple parameters that we often think of as the elements of a sound that change while we're walking. Okay, so one of those things would be perceived distance, right? Proximity. So that would equal volume manipulation or modulation. Pitch, right? Because one footstep might sound a little lighter than the next. Maybe you step on some thinner gravel and you end up with a kind of a slightly higher frequency footstep than one that's gravel mixed with grass or something like that, right? So now you've got volume and pitch, and of course you've got a right leg and a left leg, and assuming that we're following from center here, that means that there's also going to be some kind of pan modulation in place, but we only have one footstep. So how do we do that? It's super simple. We're just going to right click. Let's do the volume first. We'll right click here, external source, random. We'll do bipolar, so it goes in both directions. So a random is a controller inside of Kontakt, and by default it's going to create this huge modulation depth. So as I press a key, it's dipping all the way down to 0 every once in a while and blah blah blah. So what we want to do is create a variation of somewhere between 5 and 10% maybe. You don't want it to be too drastic. I'll go for 10% right now. Next, we're just going to click on the pan. Now, this one's a little bit different because you could actually use an LFO. You could use an LFO instead of random bipolar because that's going to give you the alternating right and left. Or what you can do is set up this whole thing and then duplicate it. And toss the sample onto 2 different keys or restrict it to playback at 2 different keys, and you have a left channel and a right channel. And then as you're syncing a screen, if this is in fact for syncing to screen, what you do is you just set up 2 keys. One is left and one is right. So you're just simply doing this as a character is walking on the screen, right? Alternating between left and right. And it's super easy to sync something like that with your fingers on a keyboard as an organic playable instrument versus moving samples around in a timeline, trying to magically make it sync up and not get super frustrated over time. So just a quick hack. For those who are syncing to screen, duplicate the instrument in the rack, restrict it to 1 key on each, set 1 to left, hard pan left, set 1 to right, hard pan right. For musical stuff, I would recommend using, again, the random. So we'll use that. Again, bipolar, and this is our pan here. And again, we're just going to move this around 10% or so. So this is about 10 steps to the right and 10 steps to the left in your pan pot. And since it's random, it can fall on any value between those spaces. So if you think about that, it's actually more like a 20% spread in the stereo field because you're going up 10% and down 10% simultaneously. Okay, so next, let's do the same on tune. This one you have to be a lot more careful with though, right? If you were to go up and down 10%, that's pretty drastic. So what we're going to do here, let's just bring this down to, see, it's measuring in steps here. So maybe we'll do like almost a full step and see what that sounds like. I'm just going to be pressing the same key a few times. All right, we're going to bring that up just slightly. Mic is very low. Uh-oh. Let me switch that up for you. Thank you for telling me, Paul. I do appreciate that. That's odd that it's low. There we go. How's that? Hopefully better. It looks like it's a little bit better. Check 1, 2. Okay. And it's already starting to sound it. I'm pressing just one key, same velocity each time, and you're already starting to hear kind of this walking effect. It starts to sound like 2 steps instead of just one sample. Now, if you were to put something else on it, like maybe a little tape saturation or something like that, maybe something with a little bit of a warble or something, now all of a sudden you're going to be getting into the space of this kind of really organic thing. And this is one of those layers that a lot of people just don't even think about. They're really focused on the sampled instrument itself, and they're not thinking about bringing in, you know, like another external third party plugin in addition to it. So for the actual instrument. So I'll just show you what I mean here. We'll just grab like maybe a Kramer here. Will probably work for what we're doing. And there's other things you can do with this, right? It's just that if you use something like this instead of a chorus, for instance, then you're not moving frequencies around in the same way. If you use something like a chorus, it can get a little funky a little quickly. So we're going to add maybe just a touch of noise for a character. And what we don't need here is a bunch of delay. So if the delay is really audible at this point, we're just going to bring it down. It's great for thickening, though. It's just an added feedback, or I mean, it's just an added bonus. As I touch the feedback knob here, it's just an added bonus of using something like a tape emulator. Especially in, like, for instance, with a footstep, since we're using a footstep, if it's gravel, right, or a dusty place or something like that, there's going to be all this particulate matter, right, that comes back down. It's not just as simple as a foot touching the ground, right? You're actually hearing, you know, the shoe kind of peel up, and there's some physics and some motion involved. And here is where you really want to make this happen. So your wow and flutter, you would bring up. It's such a short form sound. It happens. It's hitting our ears. It exists for such a brief period of time that you don't need to worry about how rangy that's going to get, because it's only going to be on there for a moment in time. Yeah, in fact, this one doesn't have a whole lot of appeal to it, so I would actually potentially even consider going into the wave editor and then just going zone envelope, and you can use a volume zone envelope on this. You could set a, oops, I'm always doing that to myself. You can set a little breakpoint here, and maybe just give yourself a simple volume curve. Or maybe we'll make it just a little bit more interesting than that. That's a little bit better. Let's just move this over so we're actually hearing more of that change. I'd like to get the transient start point a bit more up towards the top there. This all happens pretty quickly. Yeah, that's a bit better peeled. Now, of course, since we've manipulated the volume, we do need to go in and kind of beef up the output of that, and we can do that with just a oops. Let's do a tape saturator, since we're already given that kind of flavor. Just beef it up before it goes into the tape emulator. So anyway, this is just a quick little hack, right? You can use this on any type of sound. It doesn't have to be something simple like a footfall. It could be more complex than that. But oftentimes you're out in the field, or you're just, something's flying past you in the moment, and you capture it with a recording device, and then it's gone. Right? You don't have another chance to catch it. So this is a way for you to kind of iterate upon that single sound and get some really believable variations from it. You don't have an opportunity to build a real round robin. So this is kind of a faux red robin, if you will. Round robin, red robin. Yeah. Yeah, zone envelopes are cool. Yeah, this is, Nate. Absolutely. This is one of the reasons why everybody that works with, sound for screen specifically loves Absinthe, myself included, because you have so much manipulation control, so much granular control over every single detail, because envelopes control everything in our universe. So, yeah, the world is our instrument. Like, the human voice and a recorder out in the wild gives you everything you would ever need for music. And yeah. Subvids, yeah. In fact, we were actually just talking about rain in our last segment, or in our last stream on Friday, where a really good hack for vinyl, for like dusty vinyl, is going out with just a simple, cheap couple dollar umbrella. Just the old school black vinyl ones, right? You go out there, flip on record while you're in the dryness of your umbrella in a light rain, and that comes through as these really high frequency little ticks. Toss it into your DAW, wipe away the low frequencies, and bada bing, you've got a really, really nice kind of vinyl thing going on. And you modulate that over time in a couple different ways, and warp it a little bit, and it really sounds not just authentic, but unique. Like, you can tell that it's not the typical, and it's a bit more texture and a bit more character, and those things, I think that people, we appreciate those things. It makes us lean in. And if you're going to say that if there's a universal goal for all of us, it's to make our listeners more engaged, right? We don't want passive audience, we want an engaged audience. Get those people to lean in a little bit. So yeah. So these little hacks are really just there for the purpose of life force and believability. Thank you for the follow, Cheeky Boom. Appreciate it. Good having you here. Subvids, I'm glad you found the channel too. We're just getting rebooted here. We're just getting this Twitch stream up. It's only been up for a couple of weeks. But OhmLab's been around for a long time. I'm sure the people in the community will fill you in. All right, so that's just a quick example of, just a simple footfall off the hard drive. So let's head over. Let's head over and start talking about the community sample challenge, okay? First, like I was saying in the beginning, there's going to be just some very loose boundaries on this one. There's not going to be the normal restrictions, since a lot of the people that are tuning in on Twitch right now here in the channel are new to us, and they haven't done this with us before. This is just a chance for us to stretch our legs, if you will, stretch ourselves out before we really get going. The volume is still low, Paul? Really? Man. Is it low for anybody else? Boom boom, welcome back. Absinthe for 10 years and never use it. I hear that constantly, just constantly. I love it. I absolutely love it. When I lean in, volume is okay. Maybe I just have my mic lean in away from me. I'm sorry about that. Kilo, thank you for the follow. Awesome. Cool. Thank you. Let me just give the voice a little love. Where's my mic? There's my mic. Okay, we'll just put a little... All right, I gave it a little 2 decibel bump. You guys let me know if that's a little bit better. Okay, so like I was saying, there's no restrictions on this one, just some loose categories now. Okay, so we're talking super loose, like musical, game, cinematic, and interface. Okay, so if someone wants to make a video game sound, a character voice, a magic spell being cast, some kind of impact or something like that, like all of those are totally fine, right? Environmental sounds, ambience, environments, totally fine. Cinematic explosions, right? That's an easy one. Musical, right? Taking the sound of a lawnmower recording and turning it into a nasty growl bass, or someone giving themselves a haircut with some scissors. You can turn that into hi-hats or something, right? Or interface sounds, right? Buttons, clicks, notification type sounds, ringers, those types of things. Okay, so the idea here is that you're either going to record something, or if you don't have the ability to, you're going to set up an account at some place like a freesound.org. There are others. You can Google it. And you're going to grab or capture a sound or a few sounds, and you're going to make something from them and send it in. And if you'd like to share the raw sample with us to see what I will do with it live on the stream, then we can do that. And you can just share a link from Freesound if you want to just have me grab the same sound from the Freesound, or you can send it in via email or your own sample. Holler at ohmlab.tv. And there we go. So let's grab something fun. What should we grab out of here? Why doesn't someone give me a suggestion of a sound to search for? And maybe we'll even let somebody else make a suggestion of what we transform it into. These are always fun. And while you guys are thinking of something, birdsong. I do like birdsong. Oh, too noisy. Bell sound, something breaking, and a scrape. Okay, I like all of those. I think I'm just going to take those top 4. Ooh, a heartbeat. Okay, that's tempting too. A heartbeat. That's a robin. It's a typical robin, slowed to 0.125 speed. It sounds pretty cool. Oh, that's awesome. This is also an English robin. It might be the same one because it's the same person. Pretty cool. Sasquatch. Yeah. Cat meow. I like these ideas, you guys. Yeah. These are fun. Birdsong is always great for background beds for like ambient type stuff, down tempo stuff, and a woodpecker tapping. That's nice too. Okay. I might just grab this one because it was the first clean one that we heard. What is this? Let's see if it's a wave. M4A. That one's pretty clean. One thing that I would add is that if you pick up a sound and you send it over and we decide to use it for something, it's very nice just to leave a little message for people. This one right here, you can see this work is licensed under the attribution license. Okay. Inspector J has been on here for a while. He tosses up a lot of stuff. He uses a Zoom primarily. But it's nice just to leave a little message, something along the lines of, I'll just type this out in chat, and you guys can vary it at will. I don't know. I don't want it to sound like too salesy or anything. You don't want to like, I don't know. I'm not trying to drive people to my stuff, but you know, that's the whole point of Freesound, is to let people know where you're using it. So as you click through, you'll see in the comments people leaving links to projects of video games or songs or whatever that they've released where the sounds have been used. So the people that share those sounds get to see where those things actually ended up. Subvids. Oh, you actually have one. Okay. This is great. It's nice and clean too. Yeah, let's grab this. Thank you, Subbits. Okay, so the next one was a bell sound. I love using bell sounds. This is a really nice recording, Sub. It's very cool. Too busy. Church bells now. Maybe we'll grab this one. This is a wave. A bike bell. Those are always fun. All right. I think this one sounds pretty good. This is an Inspector J. I'll have to make note of that. So we give him credit if we end up using it. The next one is Something Breaking from Paul.